Welcome to Voices Unheard. Before we begin, please note this case is still under active investigation. The details we share today are based on verified public reports. Some information may change as the investigation unfolds, and because the case is still in court, we will not draw conclusions until all facts are presented. Therefore, everything discussed in this episode should be considered alleged. Today we dive into yet another GBV tragedy of Simphiwe Zinhle Mchunu. This is a story of a young woman whose life was taken too soon. I'm your host, and today we'll look into another case of a 23-year-old Simphiwe Zinhle Mchunu, a final year teaching student from Ladysmith. What began as a disappearance ended in heartbreak to her family and has drawn fresh attention to the scourge of gender-based violence in South Africa. Simphiwe Zinhle Mchunu was 23 years old, full of ambition, studying her final year of teaching at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. Friends described her as dedicated, kind, and close to her family. But on the 22nd of November 2025, that future began to fall apart. Simphiwe was reported missing suddenly, unexpectedly. According to family accounts shared with police and the media, the 23-year-old UKZN teaching student was living with her boyfriend, a 22-year-old named Themba Chaba. On the day of Simphiwe's disappearance, Chaba allegedly contacted Simphiwe's sister, claiming they had argued and that she had packed her clothes into a suitcase and that she has left. The sister then contacted their mother to inform her of the news. In a state of distress, Simphiwe's mother immediately phoned Themba Chaba to ask her what had happened. Themba responded that he did not know, claiming that Simphiwe had taken a suitcase, packed 3 pairs of jeans, and left to meet her ex-boyfriend. Simphiwe's family then traveled to Durban, where she had been staying with Themba. Upon their arrival, Themba was repeatedly questioned about Simphiwe's whereabouts, but he continued to maintain that he did not know where she was. When the police entered the house, they discovered a blood-stained sock belonging to Simphiwe. When questioned about this, Themba claimed that the blood was the result of a nosebleed. The family continued searching the surrounding area and approached neighbors to request CCTV footage in hope of tracing their daughter's movements. However, the footage did not show Simphiwe. Initially, there were few answers, just fear and unanswered questions for her family in Ladysmith. Her disappearance triggered frantic searches by family and friends across Ladysmith and beyond. But what they did not know at the time was that Simphiwe was much closer than they feared and in grave danger. Days passed, then came the worst possible news. Simphiwe's body was found buried in a suitcase in her own yard, a tragic discovery that shook the community. According to reports, her family often walked around the yard unaware she was there. According to family statements, her body was stuffed or placed inside the suitcase before being buried. There are unofficial reports circulating online that an autopsy or government pathologist indicated the cause of death included strangulation and blunt force trauma to the head, but these details have not yet been confirmed by mainstream news outlets. According to Simphiwe's grandmother, dirt and rubbish were buried on top of the area where Simphiwe was buried, seemingly in an attempt to conceal the grave. Loved ones described the moment as unbearable, heartbreaking, to know she was so close, yet so lost to them. Authorities began a criminal investigation. Early indication from police sources suggest there was a prime suspect, someone known to her. According to local postings and reports, Themba Chaba was taken into custody. Initial statements allege he told police Simphiwe left after an argument, but he was reportedly in possession of her phones and bank card, raising suspicions. WhatsApp messages and conversations from November were said to have also been deleted, according to family statements. Under questioning, Gaba confessed to killing Simphiwe, placing her body in a suitcase and burying it in the yard. The arrest came as a shock. For many, it underscores the broader issue of violence in relationships where arguments can hide deeper, dangerous patterns. The loss has devastated Simphiwe's family. In public statements, they've described immeasurable pain and they are demanding justice. Their grief resonates with communities across KwaZulu-Natal, where families see too many young women lose their lives to violence each year. South Africa continues to grapple with high levels of gender-based violence. Cases like Simphiwe's are tragic, not isolated. For many observers, this story is symptomatic of a larger societal crisis. Young women at risk in relationships where trust can transform into tragedy. The police investigation continues, charges have been laid, and the community awaits a trial that many hope will bring closure. Simphiwe's family has vowed to see justice served, not just for her, but to keep her memory alive. We honor her not just as a victim, but as a daughter, a student, a young woman with a bright future ahead of her. Thank you for listening to Voices Unheard. If you or someone you know may be in danger, reach out to your local support services. Stories like Simphiwe's remind us why it is so important to speak up, to protect one another, and to push for justice. Stay safe and stay aware.